Hello everybody, it's Level 4 for the weekly update. This one's going to be a little all over the place. Starting with sadder things and hopefully moving on to better. Not that I think 99.9% of my viewers know him because you're internet people, but a close friend of mine named Michael Kaplan passed away this past week. And I just want to give him a little tribute because he deserves it. We grew up in the same neighborhood together, West Hempstead, New York. Went to middle school for 6th through 8th grade, and then again in a after high school program for 2 years in Israel. He was there with me, amongst other people, obviously. And was one of the nicest people I've ever met. Always a smile. He had a very infectious smile. Very easygoing, opinionated, but he's just one of the nicest people I've known. And he I don't know, just as a highlight, a personal highlight, I guess. I didn't have a lot of visitors when I was sick, mostly because I wasn't really up for it. But like a few times, like especially around my birthday, friends of mine would organize like little get-together parties. So one of them was like a little mini middle school reunion, and he was one of the people, like 5 or 6 people that came to visit me when I was sick. And I appreciate that very much because it was a distance. It's hard to coordinate things once you leave high school and get into college times and business work and stuff like that. It's very hard to coordinate. But he took the time out of his schedule to come visit me and just cheer me up a bit when I was sick. And he certainly didn't deserve this, and the world is a little less bright without him. But I hope whatever was going on, he's resting better now. But yeah. So I just wanted to start the video with that so that it wasn't like, hey, let's talk about the Nintendo Direct and also sad thing. I just wanted to start with what I feel was the most important thing to talk about, and now we'll talk about other less important things like myself. But yeah, it's a tragedy. But yeah, so in the world of Dovey, this has been a very strange week for me, health-wise. Like I said last week, I haven't been doing well. I've been struggling very mightily during the past 4 weeks. It's been 4 weeks since the surgery, as of Thursday, which is crazy. It's tomorrow I think is the 1 month point, or today or tomorrow, which is crazy. One of the problems I had was I had a muscle that was acting up. I still had the drains and stuff and staples and sutures and things. Oh my. So that's been bothering me a lot. I've not been getting sleep, and it's been just it's been very difficult. On Thursday, I had an appointment with the plastic surgeon who helped out with the surgery, as it was like whatever the back doctor was. That there's a term for it that's not coming to me. But the 2 people involved in my surgery was the back doctor and the plastic surgeon. The plastic surgeon was responsible for moving the veins around and stuff in different places. But so I had an appointment there to get the staples and sutures out of the main incision in my back. So now I don't have any more things that need to be removed in that regard. And I was also supposed to get both of the remaining drains in my back removed. But when we got there, they said, no, if the drains are in the same spot, we can only remove one. Because, there's going to be too much swelling. And we're like, but it's producing so little fluid. Come on, please. You promised us last time. Because the holidays are continuing this week, the next time we're going to be able to come in is like 2 weeks from now. And they're like, no, it's policy. They discussed it back and forth. They're like, no, we can't come in. Also, my chin's doing a lot better. It's just a scab, mostly a scab over there. It looked horrible a few weeks ago. I really hope the beard hair grows back because it all fell out over there. But anyway, so like, no, we can't do it. So they asked, like, which drain do you want out? So I said, the one that's been bothering me the most, because if I'm gonna only get one out, I may as well get the one out that has been driving me crazy. So they took it out, and it was like this long, like from the point that it went into my skin. It was like this long. It was like a thin rectangle with perforations in it to draw in fluid. There was like suction at the other end. I was like, I didn't know what to expect because they never let me look at the drains before. When they took out the other two, they didn't give me the option to look. So I was just like, is that what the other one looks like? I don't know. So they forced me to keep the other one in, but redid the dressing on it in such a way that it wasn't really secure. And you'll see why I mention that in a moment. So we're all really annoyed because now I'm going to be hanging out with this stupid drain in me for another, sticking out of me for another 2 weeks or something. And so we drive home. And as I'm getting out of the car, the line for the drain, and I have been perfect for the last 4 weeks in making sure this thing didn't snag on anything. I wasn't sitting on the line or like anything like that. I have been meticulous in making sure every single one of these things was like, there was no problems or issues whatsoever. Anyway, getting out of the car, I get distracted for 1 second. I stand up and it gets stuck between the car seat and the console in the middle. I get up and I keep moving and it just goes. It just pulls itself right out. And I have it with me, and I was debating whether or not I would show it to you. And I decided I'm not going to, even if I'm like, hey, look away if you don't want to see what a drain looks like. But, yeah. So it pops out, and my dad and I are just going, because, when things come out, when doctors don't take them out, that's usually a problem. So the main problem that we had at the time, I actually didn't feel anything because the whole area there is numb because of the surgery. So I was just like, But the main problem was that, and it's like a straight thing, so it's not like it ripped my skin off or anything. It's just there's like a little suture at the end that they tied around the tube and that they sewed into the skin. So it just ripped my skin a little, but the skin there was already, I guess, really bad if it just ripped immediately. But yeah, the problem was I took a look at the drain, and the one that they took out of the right side was about this tall and like this thick. The one in the left side that just came out was about that tall and half as thin. And at the very end of it, instead of being just like closed off or an opening, it was on a slant with like little serrations that could either be from a scissor cutting it or from a tear. So now we had to call the plastic surgeon back. Like we just got home from the appointment. It was like a 2-hour drive in the worst weather we've had. Like it was like the rain was like, you couldn't see 2 feet in front of the car. So we had to call the surgeon back in a plastic surgeon office back in a in a craze, saying like we need to get a hold of somebody who has the notes or who knows what the drains look like, because we don't know if now there's a piece in me that we need to get surgically fished out. I was assuming that there wasn't because it was straight and it just pulled out, and for it to have torn in any way, it would have to get caught on something and really tear, because this is tough, like rubber or whatever it is. So like the likelihood is that they just snipped it because it was shorter on that end, because it wasn't the main drain. But we had to make sure, so we called and we're like, yeah, we just got back from the appointment, and the other drain got snagged and pulled out, and like we really need someone to tell us like what's going on. They're like, well, was this area like draining a lot? And we're like, no, they said that they could have taken it out, but protocol says they wanted to wait a day or two, so it would have come out 2 days later, at the very earliest. And like, well, if it was ready to come out anyway, it's not really a problem. They're all like, yeah, is it supposed to only be like 3 or 4 inches long, and like what about the serrations at the end? They're like, yeah, when they put them in, they're sometimes they're longer, and they cut them down to size before surgery, and that's pretty much the standard size for the drains. And I'm assuming that's what the ones in my upper back and my leg looked like that they didn't show me. But it was just demonstrably different from the one that had come out on that day in the same area. Like they were crisscrossed like this in my back, I guess. And also when she had taken out the big one, it jostled the other one a little, and she was like, oh, that stuck out a little, I'm gonna just push that back in. So yeah, that was a heart attack, but eventually the person said it's fine, just make sure if there's any swelling, like any abnormal amounts of swelling, just let us know. But the body should be able to compensate, so just keep an eye on it. So we just all went it was a heart attack. It was right in the middle of the Nintendo Direct also. Like if you were on Twitter and you're like, and I was like, oh, Twitter watching stopped by medical emergency, it was because I wasn't sure if I was about to have emergency surgery to fish a piece of rubber plastic out of my back. So everything is fine. God wanted both drains to come out for me, so he made it happen that I would have a momentary lapse at the perfect time for it to come out painlessly. And there hasn't been any abnormal swelling or anything, so yeah, no more. That's it for the external things that need to be removed. I'm officially free of any conspicuous medical apparatus. The only thing I have left is the ace bandage that's all the way up my leg, because there's still a lot of swelling around my ankle, and we're still trying to protect the incisions on both sides of my leg as they heal properly. So that's just going to stay there for a little while. But yeah, so that was Thursday. Friday morning, I was able to go to sleep on Thursday without having to worry about running over the lines or the laying on top of the clip or the ends of the drains, which was all very uncomfortable. So I was able to actually move around, still having trouble sleeping, but it was at least more comfortable in that regard. But yeah, Friday morning I get up and like I just feel like a new person. And I don't think it's because I got better sleep. It's just because like whenever I sit down now, I don't have to sweep the tubes out of the way, and when I lean back, I don't feel everything poking into my back, and trying to make sure I'm sitting in a way that trying to make sure I sit in a way that's not crimping the lines or anything. We don't have to wash the areas every night now because it's because there's holes in my body that we don't want to get infected, and it's just been it's just a very, very different now. It's like night and day with the quality of life. So I'm happy that the thing came out. It was scary at the time because I didn't know what we might need to do, but I'm so happy that after 4 weeks I finally got the stupid stuff out. And now I'm like able to walk better now. It's a mental thing. It's like my body isn't suddenly fully healed. I'm still exhausted after walking around and doing stairs and stuff, but like just without all the moving parts inside and outside, because there were large things moving around my back, so like it was uncomfortable and it was obviously aggravating my body to have the stuff in there, because your body doesn't like foreign objects. So just not having that stuff in for a day, for 2 days, this is day 3, is like I just feel completely different, and I have more energy. I feel more alive now, and it's definitely a perception thing that like having the stuff sticking out of you is a constant reminder of what's going on. And because I had to like have it clipped to my pants and stuff, and I had to empty them out every 12 hours, just with all the gunk that fills up. And so I just haven't had to do that now, and it's very, very different for me, and I'm in a much better state of mind than I was even just a few days ago. That being said, I'm not back up to 100%. I would say I've gone from 10 to 25%, which is still a significant jump. I actually weighed myself today. I've lost about 14 pounds since I got back from the hospital. Because I weighed myself after I got home, and I was like, why am I still so heavy? I haven't been eating, but whatever reason. Maybe I was just a lot heavier than I thought I was, and I had lost weight. But since I weighed myself maybe a week after I got home. So in the past 3 weeks, I've lost about 13 pounds. Mostly because I just don't have an appetite. I haven't had an appetite since the surgery. I'm forcing myself to eat, and I'm drinking stuff like Boosts, which just have protein and nutrients. So I'm making sure not to starve myself. I'm forcing myself to eat for meals, but it's like very small portions, very, very small portions, like the absolute minimum to make my stomach calm down. I'm making sure to drink a lot of fluids because, you get dehydrated, and that's bad. I think my appetite's starting to come back, and that's probably going to start coming back also with me being less depressed. So we'll see how this week goes. But yeah. So in terms of what that means going forward, I have felt okay enough to try drawing again and maybe doing a couple of first impression videos that have been on my to-do list. Definitely not starting a new Let's Play this week. This week also, starting tomorrow night and going into Wednesday again, is the last chunk of the Jewish holiday month, the holidays of Shmini Atzeres and Simchas Torah. It's the end of the Sukkot holiday and the culmination of the entire high holidays, days of awe, everything. So once those are over, it's no more holidays until Hanukkah. So yeah, it'll be a lot easier for me for recovery and everything else, just to not have that. Let's see. So yeah, I'm gonna try today to maybe record something. I might record one video, as a test, and then maybe try to do the audition, if my voice is up to it, doing some of the audition things for the Zelda Universe's Wind Waker dub that they're doing, because the deadline for that is Friday, so I need to get that in either today or Thursday. I think would be the best days. I don't want to do it at the last second, but it might have to. But yeah. I also posted an update on Patreon, just saying that I'm going to be pausing everything for October also, because I really thought that I would be drawing again, since I wouldn't have anything else to do. I thought I would be drawing again 2 weeks ago, but this has just been so much harder and worse than I thought it would ever be, so it's taken me a month to even get back to like playing video games, not recording videos, but just like playing video games. This month has sucked. So yeah, so the long and short is that I am feeling better. I'm very far from 100%. I have a long way to go in terms of physical recovery, but mental recovery, I'm doing a lot better, and that counts for a lot, I think. So yeah, let's see what else happened this week. There was a Nintendo Direct, and we'll talk about that. Also, I started having coffee again after... I haven't had coffee since before surgery, and I started again on Friday, and I missed it so much. I ran a poll just asking people on Twitter. I ran a poll asking like how people found my content. And it was very interesting. I got 72 votes on that, which was neat. So the choices were YouTube, Twitch, Twitter/art, and Discord. 51.4% said Twitter/art, which I expected. 26% said YouTube, 12.5% said Twitch, and 9.7% said Discord. So I just found that very interesting. It's my main presence online is my art now, as opposed to YouTube or Twitch or anything. Although 50% is Twitter, and the other 50% is YouTube, Twitch, and Discord together. So I don't know, maybe it's even. But yeah, MagFest tickets go on sale this week, which is cool. I need to play Deltarune Chapter 2. But yeah, man, last week though. Last week was a... I don't want to repeat it. Let's put it that I don't want to repeat it. It sucked. I guess the only other thing to talk about... Oh yeah, we're getting Blossom Tales 2, which I'm super hyped about. A few people actually messaged me directly being like, "Hey Dobie, look!" And I appreciate that. As you know, I Let's Played it at the beginning of this year, I think. Right? Yes, at the beginning of this year. And it was super, super fun. And I can't wait to see what they come up with next. For the sequel. It looks like it's more of the same, with a lot of little improvements and stuff on the Zelda-like formula, which I'm just happy about. Yeah. Aside from the Michael Kaplan thing, nothing else really to talk about. But we do have the Nintendo Direct, so I'm gonna just go through it quickly because this is a long video already. Monster Hunter Rise is getting a huge expansion called Sunbursts. That's cool. They talked about Mario Party Superstars, a game called Voice of Cards, which was like a card game RPG thing. They talked about Disco Elysium Final Cut for the Switch. Age of Calamity Expansion 2, which had Robbie and Pura as a playable character, amongst other things. Kind of looked like Baby Sidon was going to be there also. Chocobo Grand Prix, which is like a sequel to the Chocobo racing from the PlayStation era. They said they're not going to be talking about Smash Brothers. That's going to be a separate thing on the 5th, which is next week, I think. Kirby and the Forgotten Land, which looks like it's just Kirby Automata. It's like Nier Automata, but with Kirby instead of 2B. Animal Crossing is getting a direct in October, and they mentioned that they're adding the Roost. They're adding Brewster. Finally! I was so excited. And that's in November, so we have to wait till then. But they're adding him. I'm so happy. DLC to Mario Golf, Disney's Magical World 2, which kind of looked like knockoff Kingdom Hearts. Dying Light 2 Stay Humid. Triangle Strategy, which of course they didn't change the name. They're like, it's Project Triangle Strategy is the working name, the same as Project Octopath Traveler. So no, they just kept the name as Triangle Strategy. They need to hire someone who's good at naming in that department. They talked more about Metroid Dread, and I'm really, really hyped for that. That's also coming out really soon. Nintendo Switch Online is getting a second plan that's presumably going to be more expensive, but that extra expense comes with N64 and Genesis games. So I'm probably going to get it. I mean, they have Paper Mario that they're eventually going to put on it, so yeah. Shadowrun Trilogy, Castlevania Advance Collection, which looks super nice. Those games were very, very fun, which I think is out now. ActRaiser Renaissance, which is like a remake of ActRaiser, which is out now also. Deltarune 1 and Chapters 1 and 2 are coming. Old Chapter 1 is there already, but yeah. And they talked about the Mario movie, with casting choices such as Chris Pratt as Mario, Charlie Day as Luigi, Jack Black as Bowser, Keegan-Michael Key as Toad, Seth Rogen as DK, Charles Martinet, Fred Armisen. So like, very strange, but I'm excited. Very strange, but I'm excited. They talked about Splatoon 3, which is going to be Return of the Mammalians. But the important thing, it has Mari in it, confirmed. I don't know if Pearl and Marina are going to be there. But it does have Callie and Mari. But most importantly, Mari. Mari is very important. Even if the amiibo doesn't work. And then finally, at the very end, the big surprise. They talked about Bayonetta 3, and it looks amazing. You know, there was like a big question in Bayonetta 3 of like, where's it going to go from here? Because in Game 1, you fight the angels. In Game 1, you fight angels and demons. So like, what's left? And it kind of looks like it's aliens. Kind of looks like aliens, which I'm okay with. Also, her hair is like the Cereza hair, which I love that touch. You know, she has to get new hair every single time. Everyone else also like, what's the hair going to look like? I love the light bouncing off my forehead here. Anyway, so that's exciting. I'm glad that they were able to show something after all this time. So it's still unconfirmed, but it's Nebulous 2022. There's most of the games announced here were like 2022. We'll see how many of them actually come out in 2022. But surprisingly, they didn't talk about Pokemon, because, I mean, that's coming out already, but maybe they'll just have a separate Pokemon Direct for it. But, yeah, it was a good Direct. It was hype, despite the fact that it got interrupted in the middle by me pulling the drain out of my back accidentally. It was good. So I'm looking forward to Brewster. I've been playing Animal Crossing. I've been trying to play it daily. I've been kind of off because of the surgery, but I've been trying to do at least like the bare minimum each day. You know, talk to somebody, give gifts out. Anka gave me her picture again because I attended her birthday party, so that was cool. But yeah, so it was a good Direct, but it was a bad week. But yeah, so that's about it. So this week again, I might record first impressions for Eastward, maybe something else if I have the energy. Yeah, but aside from that, things are going to be on hold at least for another week or two. Thank you all very much for your patience. Thank you for hanging in there with your own struggles and everything that's going on with your life. I really do appreciate every single one of you, and you know, I'm rooting for you all the way. I really am. And you know, thank you for your support with me, but also for supporting the people around you, not just me. Thank you for being good to the people around you that do not include myself. And you know, always remember that it's always a good time to tell someone that you know, they're important to you, because you never know what the next day is going to bring. There was a proverb I got from a fortune cookie. The best time to plant a fruit tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is today. So I think that's something that's very important. It's like, you know, the things that you really should do, you know, that should have been done already. You know, yes, the best time would have been yesterday or, a year ago or 20 years ago or whatever, but the second best time is today. It's always time. It's always time for a new start, or to get started on something or to do that thing. And just it's always good to keep that in mind. But again, thank you very much for being the wonderful people you are, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye, everybody. Bye-bye.